Welcome back to Morning Markets, and thank you so much, as always, for being with us. Well, following the Bank of Canada's decision to deliver a jumbo 50 basis point rate cut last week, Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem pushed back on the idea that such large rate reductions are only for economic emergencies. The market, however, certainly expects more rate cuts ahead. What do these cuts mean for Canada's housing market? Let's bring in Christopher Wein, Chief Operating Officer at Equiton Developments. It's a housing developer in the Toronto area. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Tell us briefly about where your company is in the housing market. What do you do?
Sure.
Where do you do it?
Sure. Equiton Developments is GTA based. We've been around for 10 years. We're a private equity firm, so we actually have been developing asset management, buying a whole bunch of apartments and various income-producing properties. We have a portfolio of over $1.5 billion, and now we have entered into the development market. So ground-up development, condos. We have 6 sites. We have 1 in market and 5 more coming over the next year.
Okay. What you of course are watching declining interest rates very carefully. Everybody in Canada is. Everybody in your industry is. What do you see coming in terms of affordability, in terms of housing market activity, in terms of the condominium market in particular, which is your expertise, because of these lower rates?
So it's a good start, but we need more. So what's great is we're now starting to see some acceleration with respect to rates. So the quarter points were okay, but now that we have a half a point, now we need another half a point. And acceleration does build consumer confidence. With respect to immediate gains, we see a little bit in the leading indicators of the MLS market. So MLS is seeing improved sales activity through September and now into October. But as far as the condo market roaring back, that's going to take a while. I think next spring, and we certainly need at least another 50 basis points in December, and let's look for some more in the spring.
Well, I guess one reality is that everybody out there who reads the news media understands that and expects that more rate cuts are coming. So is it not rational for would-be home buyers to wait until lower rates arrive?
Well, I think that's what's happening. And I think one of the challenges is when you look at the market, especially the condo market in particular, you really have 3 markets. So you have the actual end-user home buyers, you have long-term investors who are looking to invest in the Toronto market and other cities in Canada for long-term gains. And then you have the speculative market. And I think it's the speculator that really drove the market on fire the last few years. And that speculative market is probably gone for the next several years. So now it's really getting back to the fundamentals of long-term investors and end users.
And what is happening to condominium prices in this market? Are they coming down because of shrinking rates and the exit of many of those speculative investors?
Yes. So what's happening with condo prices? So we have 2 issues. So we have condos that are delivering, and condos that are delivering right now, and condos that are in market. We've never had so much supply in the GTA. So we have almost 30,000 finished units that are unsold. So that's driving prices down on finished product. So we are seeing a softening. But with respect to new product that's going to launch next spring, that'll be built in the next 3 or 4 years, costs are costs. So until we start to see a reduction in costs, it's difficult for developers to ease off.
That sounds like a buyer's market, 30,000.
It is a buyer's market.
30,000 units unsold.
Yes, it's actually amazing because right now people are afraid to step into the market, and everyone I talk to, I'm telling them right now is the best time to buy. You can get the best incentives. There is product out there, and you can, and mortgage rates are coming down. So buy today. Take advantage of a down market.
Okay, I want to bounce something off you that is also in the headlines now, and this does, my understanding, this does or would apply to the condominium market as well as fully detached homes. Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative leader, wanting to abolish the federal sales tax on sales of homes priced at less than $1 million. Now, that may be a difficult threshold to achieve in this particular market. But leaving that aside, across the country, what are your thoughts here?
I think it's a great start again. I think that he needs his provincial counterparts to kind of step up to the plate. So HST is one thing, but GST is one thing, but HST is even a bigger thing. So if we can get some of the premiers like Ford to get into that same mode, that would be fantastic. I do think there needs to be some caveats. I think it's important.
Some
caveats. Right. I think it's important that this is something that applies to people buying their principal residence.
Right.
So I think, again, in order to kind of soften speculation, you wouldn't want this to just be open to everything, including resort proproperties and second and third properties and so on. But I do think the $1 million threshold works. And in major centers like Vancouver and Calgary and Montreal, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, and Calgary, It's primarily going to be multifamily. It's going to be the condo market.
Right.
Single-family homes in Toronto are more than $1 million.
Right. Well, do you think the threshold needs to be lifted in markets where $1 million is
I think it
very
should.
much anymore?
I actually think it should be $1.5 million. And again, if they keep it to actual end users and primary residences, then yes, I think it works fantastically.
What we've heard for many years now that municipal governments have a large role to play here in reducing red tape, to use a colloquial phrase, to make it easier for people like your companies to do what they do, and that's build housing. Are we seeing progress there?
We are. And what's interesting is we're starting to see a realignment of the industry. So what's happened is the condo industry in particular is finally maturing. And what's going to happen is I think we're going to see smaller buildings. So we're going to see buildings that are more in the 150 to 300 units. We're not going to see these mega towers of 80 stories. They're just too expensive to finance, and they require too much pre-sale and too much speculation. And what's interesting is the municipalities, especially Toronto, has always wanted that. They want highly livable, smaller scale, neighborhood-based developments. So what's happening is not so much that the red tape's clearing, but we're actually starting to get alignment together. And frankly, the big banks are on side as well. The big banks have been nervous about all these tiny units and having buildings full of studios and small one-bedrooms.
Right.
And so everybody's aligned that let's build more livable buildings, let's build smaller scale buildings, but let's get them up faster.